Welcome back, everyone. Our next session will be presented by Sophos. We have Leonard Sim, Senior Manager, Sales Engineering, who will be talking about fortifying against the rising tide, leveraging MDR to combat the evolving ransomware threat. Please help me welcome Leonard Sim.
Thank you. Sawadee krap. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a small crowd, but still make yourself at home. Let me know if you've got any questions. We'll try to answer. Otherwise, there's a booth, and we can also take more questions there. Okay, so if you have stayed through the earlier part of the day, and even just now with the previous speaker, they're talking a lot about all the threats out there. It seems quite scary. I am here to make it more scary, but I will be showing you more statistics, more details. But don't worry, at the end, as you can see from my title, I'll be using a lot of reference to the word MDR, Managed Detection and Response, and this is how it's going to help. Okay? So just bear with me and we'll get there. Okay, so what I'm talking about is all the details, the statistics, the findings. It is not made up by me, it is not made up by Sophos. Right? I've been doing cybersecurity for many years. A lot of times people say, hey, cybersecurity company, you make up all the bad things so you can fight the things. Okay? But for this is where our own Sophos team, we have investigated incident response. 190 cases from January to June last year. Okay? In 6 months, we've got 190 incident response cases from all over the world. You can see Thailand is over here, so it's also relevant for Thailand. We have got detailed statistics from Thailand as well, not only just from the global rest of the world there. Okay? Of these 190 cases, 80% of them are from less than 1,000 user organization, and we represent 29 sectors, everything from manufacturing, healthcare, finance, everything, right? 29 cases, over 48 countries. Okay, so that's where all of my details are from. If you would like more details, there's a report you can see where you can also download these details. Okay, this is a summary, but it doesn't mean I'm finished my presentation and we can go, okay? I just want to show you this is where I'm going towards. This is a summary. This is the advice that I want to give all of you. Close your RDP ports, use MFA, and patch vulnerable servers. This is not new, but people are still not following. That's why we have 190 cases. So remember these three. Please try to do it, and I'll give you the background why. Okay, first thing, RDP. Everybody knows RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol. No. Remote Disaster Protocol. Okay? RDP is causing a lot of problems for everyone. Makes life easy, but it makes life also very hard for IT security. Okay? Living off the land is exploiting legitimate IT tools. LOL bins, we call it, like living off the land binaries, right? LOL bins. We have been doing this study over the last few years, and you can see, number one, which all the bad guys are using to compromise users' networks. You can see across the year, RDP, RDP, RDP. I sound like I'm doing a cheer, but it is RDP, never changes, okay? What is the other concerning thing about this? You can see this is from our investigations. What the bad people there, the attackers, the hackers, what are they using to compromise our customers? These are your daily activity tools. Can any of you afford to block PowerShell, command prompt? You block it, your IT operations don't need to work. So you have to let it go. You have to let it through. The bad guys also know the same thing. And because they know the same thing, they are making use of this. And so the takeaway from this is you need to be able to monitor. PowerShell, if your IT administrator is using PowerShell, okay. If you find that your office, the reception, or your office admin is using PowerShell, something wrong. Unless your office admin want to change career, join IT team. Otherwise, something is wrong, right? But you cannot block. So you need to monitor what is going on there, right? Why these two in red? These two are new things that we have seen this year. Even Notepad can be used. And Microsoft Terminal services, right? I've got one example later on using a simple remote desktop, and you can see. Okay, this is hiding in plain sight. Very simple slide. What does it actually mean? For those, it's quite low down, sorry. The blue color is lol bins. Lol bins is the legitimate tools that the bad guys are using. Orange color is what we call artifacts. Artifacts is what the bad guys are using, the malware, malicious files, okay? What is interesting, when we first started doing this research, real malware was higher up, and this is what the bad guys were doing. But this year, the bad guys are using more legitimate tools to compromise machines and networks compared to malicious tools. Something is very worrying there, right? So it's hiding there. RDP, again, we've been tracking RDP since 2022. I have 1 year ago in Malaysia, at almost the same time, I was presenting similar report. It was 90%. It is still 90%. The numbers are not going down, right? People are still exposing RDP because they have to. Everybody is doing remote work now or asking to do remote work. Unless you're Amazon, then that one's a different case. But then a lot of people quit Amazon because they cannot do remote work, right? But everybody wants remote work. Remote work, you need to have RDP, right? But RDP is still attacked. And a lot of people think, okay, RDP, I block it at the firewall. That's enough. That is not enough. You can see from our findings, 90% is internal use. They will compromise one machine in your environment, and from this one machine, they will hop to other machines using RDP. So you also need to look and consider internal. Should you be blocking RDP? What machines are you allowing RDP? Okay, this is just a screenshot of what it looks like from a threat actor. You see, one person, I go in here, I do this, I can now control and see 9 screens at one time. It's so easy now for the threat actors. Got GUI for them, right? Okay, so that's one example I wanted to show. Okay, some people think, RDP, never mind. RDP normally is port. What's the normal port? I can't remember. Suddenly I forget. But I will change the port number. Normally it's 3389. I will change the port number. The bad guy cannot find me. I will change. Bad guys, RDP 21912 8000 50947. You change the port number, the bad guys are still able to find it. You cannot just hide by changing port numbers anymore. Okay, you cannot hide. Okay, so this is an example which our threat investigation team, during the incident response, what they actually saw. This is a real case of what they saw. This, I think, should look familiar to a lot of you, right? This is the normal Microsoft, the remote desktop client. You can see it. You have your domain name, username, password, everything normal, okay? And with this, usually you can configure to allow your users to either access a machine, or you can configure it to access a certain applications, allowed applications. Okay, so now they logged in, they are trying to access calculator, simple tool. That's calculator, okay? So this is available for the user to see, calculator. I run calculator. I open calculator. Calculator is now running on the remote machine, but it's just an interface to me. Okay? How many of you know that Windows has got this thing called sticky keys? You take your keyboard, you press the right shift 5 times, ta 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 ta. A pop-up will say, do you want to turn on sticky key? This is for the accessibility, to help those maybe who cannot type that well or cannot see that well. Then there's this feature available called sticky keys. You press it 5 times, it's going to turn on. Okay, so you'll get this. Does this look familiar to you all? Looks a bit familiar, this kind of prompt. If it doesn't, you go home, you try your Windows laptop, press 5 times, see whether has it been enabled, okay? As part of this prompt, there's this option here. Do you want to disable this shortcut? It's a lifeline there, okay? You can click on this. Once you click on this, again, remember, calculator, all this is running on the remote machine. This is going to appear. This is your settings, your ease of access center, where you can configure you want sticky keys, you don't want sticky keys. Okay? From this, right, you see this word? I can now click Control Panel. I open up Control Panel. Control Panel, this is the old interface. You remember the old interface of Control Panel? This is actually a Explorer interface, which means I can now move my cursor there. I can type command.exe. I run command.exe. I have command prompt. I have secured my remote desktop. I say I only allow you to access calculator. That's all I'm advertising the service to you. But using the built-in Windows functionality of sticky key, I can open Control Panel. I can now run command prompt. I can now do anything, right? So this is a real case that we saw of a customer of ours getting compromised. And once they run everything, of course, using an MDR tool, XDR tool, you'll be able to track. And you should look out for things like NL test, domain trust. This is going to mean that the bad guys are trying to establish who's connected, what is part of the domain, and all and so forth there. Okay, and as part of this investigation, we also saw that they logged in through here, they did it, they were doing a brute force attack trying to find a suitable username until they were successful. You see, account failed to log in, but we tracked all of this. Okay, so this is something which analysts need to do it manually to find out. There's no way you can block all of these things. Okay, so that was on the remote desktop. Talking about MFA, multi-factor authentication. Okay, Rob Joyce, I don't know you know him, in the old US administration before Trump took over a few days ago. Rob Joyce used to be part of the cybersecurity agency there, very well respected. He is saying, right, do not use the single password for everything, right? If you use a single password that you can remember, it is as useful as this. Do you all get this? Do you think this is useful? I'm a water player, I'm in a swimming pool, I still need to use a bottle of water to do that? Right, it is useless, okay? So do not use a single password, right? Use strong, unique, multi-factor authentication, MFA. Again, on our investigations, more than 50%, 57% if I'm not mistaken, use external remote services to come in, right? And one of the ways is using compromised credentials. This is what I'm talking about, MFA. Compromised credentials, 57%, increase from 1 year from 30%. Vulnerabilities is going down. So compromised credentials is really key. And if I have a credential, but if I've turned on MFA, again, I wouldn't say you're 100% secure, but you are more, it'll slow down the attacker. They need to figure out a way around MFA. Okay? 52% of the incidents did not have MFA configured. Okay? But again, I understand, MFA is not so easy for all of you to enable. I just came back from Korea last week. We have a partner there who is complaining, hey, my customers don't want to use MFA. I said, why? Because your MFA is after you enter username, password, you click next, the next screen you enter the MFA, they don't like. They want everything on one screen. My customer cannot accept if it's two screen. Huh? Right, so we know there's a lot of resistance from customers, right? So MFA is hard, but try your best. Do what you can. Okay, last one, vulnerabilities. First half, 17 vulnerabilities. This one I'll step through very quickly. 17 vulnerabilities where they're going after. Okay, it's a bit hard to see, but this basically says how fast, in the number of days, right? Once we know the vulnerability, how fast has it been exploited? They release an advisory, within how many days it's exploited, patch and POC to exploit. It's getting faster and faster there. Okay, back to the takeaways. Attack types, let's look at this. Ransomware is going down. network breaches is going up, okay? Reason for this, and this, remember, this is a study of our customers, Sophos customers. It's because a lot of these customers are already using our MDR service. So you see, for those customers not using MDR, but only pure incident response, majority of them reported ransomware. Ransomware means already hit, encrypted, ransom note has been given. Network breach means we are seeing something funny, but haven't reached the exploitation stage. So we are catching it early on. And with MDR, you see the MDR customers, they are catching it earlier there. So it helps to monitor early. Same thing, I talked about this. Close your RDP ports. Use MFA and you patch your vulnerable servers. Okay, anybody recognize him? James Brown. Why do I have a picture of him? I don't know, somebody gave me this slide, okay? But what is important is this line. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, right? You don't need to get ready if you're already ready, you don't need to get ready because you're there. What this means, you must constantly monitor, detect the environment, find out what is going on there. Don't just, oh, I better get ready for here. Okay, I'm ready, but everything's going to change. Okay? So that is on the threats part. It's quite scary, but again, like I said, stay ready. Okay? I've got 9 minutes left. I work for Sophos, so I have to talk about Sophos. Now I have to sell you some solutions, so bear with me. But how many of you all heard of Sophos before? You work for Sophos, not counted. If you didn't put up your hand, you might find a new job, sorry. Yeah. Okay? So Sophos, I just want to share with you what we do. Sophos has changed a lot. I've been speaking to some other customers, some other visitors here. Sophos has changed over the years. Sophos is actually, this year, I think it's the 40th anniversary of Sophos. That's how long we are. Okay? So Sophos has a central platform where we monitor, manage everything. Single view for you. From a solutions point of view, we offer managed risk. We can see all your vulnerabilities. We can stop your threats using protection, endpoint antivirus, firewalls, ZTNA, DNS protection. We have EDR, XDR, NDR, MDR, all the R, whatever R, we also have for you. Okay? And we do hunt for new threats, threat hunting. I think you've sat through enough presentations. I don't need to explain all of this, but this is what we have, right? And we also will help you stop active attacks. That is the key thing for the rest of my presentation, where we are helping you stop the attacks. As I've spoken throughout the threats there, a lot of threats cannot just be automatically stopped. PowerShell. You can't just stop, block PowerShell. Command prompt. Calculator. You can't do this. MFA. If it's so easy for everybody to implement, all of you would have implemented, I'm sure. But if you haven't, there must be a reason, right? If you cannot do all this, you need to be able to monitor, and then you can stop the threat there. Okay? What is also interesting about Sophos is if you look below, we integrate a lot of our competitors into our platform as well. So I'll come to that. So let's talk about MDR, Managed Detection and Response. We have 26,000 plus MDR customers, unique customers, not endpoints, not user license. We have 26,000 customers. You go out to the floor there, you speak to some of our closest competitors, you should know who they are. You add them together in terms of MDR customers, also doesn't reach 26,000. Sophos is the largest provider of MDR. When I joined Sophos 2 years ago, I also didn't know, but I learned, okay? So we have a lot of MDR customers. We will automatically block almost 99.98% of threats. But what happens to this 0.02%? That's where our team will come in to investigate, detect, investigate, and respond, all within 37 minutes. Okay? Yesterday we were talking to a large customer of ours here in Thailand using our MDR service. In 8 months, we saw 300 cases, 300 issues, of which only 2 of them in the end was critical that we needed to investigate here. The rest we handled. The customer didn't need to get involved at all. So again, like what I'm saying, MDR is here to help you. It's to help you to know PowerShell at 4 a.m. on Saturday is no good, we will alert. PowerShell, normal time is fine, right? So we are here to help you do that. So this is our MDR. We will do threat hunting, threat detection, and incident response. For those of you who are from more Thai-based companies, language, how? Our MDR team does not speak Thai. I'm not going to say we do, but we are going to take the action for you, send you a report in English which you can translate. Right? We are not going to detect and say, customer, we have detected this, you need to do this in English, and then you're worried you cannot understand. We are doing everything for you. You just need to read the report, what we have done. Okay? That's MDR. So this is how it works. We take in all of these event sources. It goes into our data lake, and we offer 24/7 managed detection response service with incident response, root cause analysis. We do proactive threat hunting. So proactive threat hunting, we know out there's some threat actor doing something. We will scan your network to see if there's any similar thing. We also do reactive. Right? So this is all the services. We can do expert-led threat hunting. How many of you, your CEO or your chairman or some board member, hey, I read in the newspaper there's this threat. Are we safe? Are we secure? I'm sure sometimes they will ask you, how many of you are there to say, we are secure, don't worry? It's always very scary to answer that to your boss, right? With this service, if your boss or the big bosses out there ask this question, you can now create a case, send it to our MDR team. Is my environment safe from Lockbit ransomware? Our team will go in, we will scan, and we will tell you that we cannot find any Lockbit ransomware in your environment. So as of today, you are safe. You can tell this back to your board, right? So we offer this. This is another key thing. With Sophos MDR, we do not need you to change everything to Sophos. Yes, we work with all Sophos, but if you're using any of these vendors, you can find a lot of them out there. They're all our competitors for firewall, but we also work with them to get their information, right? So we take in all of the information from all of these vendors so we can give a better detection of what is going on. We see something happening at the endpoint, we will query, we will ask the Palo Alto logs, are you seeing something similar? We can compare, we can now correlate and give more accurate information there. Okay? So this is something that's very different from our bigger competitors for MDR. A lot of them, they will only take a limited set, majority of their own, and maybe a few others. But we have so many different integrations. So we do not need you to change everything to Sophos as well. Okay, this is how the team works. It's a regional delivery model. We have the operations, we have the supporting team. Why am I showing this to you? Because I just want you to know, and if you can take a photograph and show this to your boss, hey, I need budget, because if I don't want to use Sophos, I want to build my own team, I need this amount of teams and people, right? But this, we handle all of this for you as well. Okay? Finally, I think last slide, second last slide. We are the only vendor named in Gartner Customer Choice for across all. Network, endpoint, MDR, mobile threat defense. We are Customer Choice 5 stars there. Okay, so there's a lot of customers out there. They have all validated us, and we are still providing good service to them. Right? That was my last slide. As mentioned, we've got a booth. Booth B14 is just over there. If you need any further information, you want some clarification, or you just want to find out more, right? The whole Sophos team is there.